Have you ever felt, even in the darkest moments of your life, that an invisible force protected you? As if, no matter how much it would collapse around you, a mysterious energy raise you again? Does that feeling that the universe, God, or something much bigger would not just let you fall? This question made you shiver. Stay with me. What I will reveal now can completely change the way you see your own destination. Today you will find out what are the 3 zodiac signs that carry such a strong energy, so ancestral, that they are able to break any curse. I'm not talking about a passing luck or simple coincidences. I'm talking about a spiritual force that comes from past lives, of a cosmic so-called, an invisible pact with the universe. According to the revelations of Edgar Cayce, one of the greatest mystics and prophets of the 20th century, these 3 signs were chosen to face and transmute the largest charges. They not only resist, they break pain, suffering and repetition of negative patterns. They are the true spiritual warriors of the Zodiac. And maybe you are one of them. Or maybe know someone who, as much as life tries to knock down, always comes back stronger. People who face losses, betrayals, falls, but always get up with even more light. This is not by chance. Throughout this video I will reveal you who these signs are. But not only that, I will tell you why they carry this mission so intense. What is the origin of this power? And what are the clear signs that indicate that your soul is also part of this spiritual lineage of breaking curses? You will understand why certain people feel such a deep pain, and at the same time they have an impressive ability to reborn. Every word you will hear here is a key that can help you understand your mission, your suffering, and your true strength. If you have already had that feeling that your life is a spiritual battle, then this video is for you. And before revealing the first sign, I need you to take a deep breath, because what comes next can explain a lot that you have lived to this day. So before continuing, I need to make you an important order. If at some point in your life, you have already felt that you carry a weight that is not just yours, who lives repeating cycles of pain, that fights an invisible tide. Comments below, I feel this call, or I also want to break these cycles. Your comment is not just an outburst, it is a way of telling the universe that you are ready for this transformation. Because when we write, we manifest. We signal that we are conscious and ready to break with everything that has blocked you here. And if this message is already messing with you, if you felt a shiver, if any strong memory came to your mind now, I ask you, leave your like. It's not just a button, it's a symbol that you recognize your own spiritual strength. Subscribe here to the channel, because in the next videos, I will bring even deeper revelations about your spiritual mission, on how to protect yourself from negative energies, and especially, how to activate this powerful force inside you. Each video here is like a call, as a new stage of this awakening you are living. Now, prepares, because the first sign that carries this almost indestructible energy, that was born with the mission of breaking curses, is much more powerful than most people imagine. And I'll tell you exactly who it is, and why the universe has trusted this intense mission, just to them. Now that you are here with me, and you felt this energy in the air, I want you to pay close attention to every word that I will say from now on. Because when we talk about spiritual energy, invisible protection, life mission, we're talking about something that goes far beyond signs. We are talking about destination, on purpose, of spiritual marks that you carry without even being fully aware of it. You may not even know. But the simple fact that being watching this video is already a sign that this message was to get to you today. Not by chance, not coincidentally, but because the universe, God, or the name you want to give, decided it was your time to wake up. Throughout their lives, many people will call you too sensitive, dramatic, or even exaggerated. But deep down, only you know what you feel when you lie down on the pillow. Only you know the emotional weight you carry on your shoulders. The nights you cried in silence. Sometimes you asked, with a tight heart, an answer, a signal, anything that showed you that you are not alone. And today, maybe, this answer is coming through these words. I know that you often ask yourself, why with me? Why do you look like I'm always tested? Why everything in my life needs to be harder, more intense, more painful? And you know what the truth is, that almost no one has the courage to tell you? Maybe you have never thought this way. But what if I told you that every difficulty you have faced to this day, every loss, every disappointment, every tear that fell, is all this part of spiritual training? An invisible preparation, to make you exactly what you need to be now. A healing channel, a transformation agent, a person who was born to clean what others had no strength to clean. Edgar Cayce talked a lot about it, about the energetic influence of certain signs, about how some people are born with a vibrational predisposition to break karmic blocks. It's not just astrology, it's a matter of soul. A mission that is already written even before your birth. And maybe you who are listening to me now carry this mark. And that's why I tell you, don't ignore the signs. The coincidences that are not coincidences. Sometimes you escaped something that could have ended very badly. Sometimes he felt that inexplicable shiver, or dreamed of someone who has left, giving you a warning, or felt a strong presence in the room, right in those days that seemed the world would collapse. This is all answers. These are messages that the universe has been trying to deliver you a long time ago. And if today, this message is coming to you, it's because there is a reason. What I will reveal about the 3 signs. It's not just a zodiacal curiosity. It is a call. It is a confirmation of everything you have always felt, but you can never put it in words. And before telling you who they are, I want you to do a quick exercise with me now. Breathe deep, feel the air entering, close your eyes for a second, and try to remember the last time you felt that you were protected by something you can't explain. It may have been an accident that didn't happen. A problem that seemed unresolved and suddenly resolved. A person who entered your life at the exact moment you needed the most help. Try to remember, because it will make sense soon. I know it's hard to believe we carry this kind of power. That there is a force within us capable of breaking patterns that are repeated for decades, until centuries, in our family. But it's real. And the 3 signs that I will reveal you sooner. They were described by Edgar Cayce as true spiritual pillars. They are like guardians, invisible warriors, sent to do exactly what the universe needs. Break with everything that holds, that limits, that hurts. And before continuing, I need to ask you something very important. Because this video will only reach more people who need this message, if you do part of this power chain. So, if at some point in this conversation, you felt a knot in your throat, a desire to cry, or even that cold in the belly, comments below. I feel that strength inside me, or this message was for me. Leave your like now, because this simple gesture helps the algorithm spread this energy to more people who need to hear just that. And if you are not already registered here on the channel, subscribe now, because the next few minutes will bring revelations that can completely change the way you see your own spiritual life. And now that you are here, completely connected with this energy, feeling every word as if it were written especially for you, I need you to continue with me because what I will reveal in the next few minutes can open doors that you may not even know that existed within you. There is a very strong reason for you to have found this video just now, at this very moment of your life. It was no coincidence. It was not random. There is a greater synchronicity acting behind the scenes of the universe, and it brought you here because maybe, from today, you will look at your own story with other eyes. When we talk about signs that break curses, that break cycles of suffering, that carry an almost indestructible spiritual strength, we are talking about people who often have been wondering why everything always seems to be harder for them. Why the obstacles are greater. Why losses are more painful. Why disappointments are repeated as a script written by some mysterious force. But what few understand is that this intensity of life is not a punishment, it is a spiritual training, a soul cut. As if the universe, God, or whatever the name you give, were forging you on fire to turn you into a kind of light warrior. These 3 signs that I will reveal you in a moment. They were described by Edgar Cayce as souls with a collective transformation mission. People who are not just here to live their own stories, but to clean the pain of whole generations. They are like living shields, energy filters that absorb, transmit, and most importantly, transmute negativity around. Therefore, so many times these people feel tired that seems to have no end. An emotional exhaustion that has no physical explanation. It is the spiritual weight of what they carry. You may have felt it, that feeling of waking up in the morning and feeling the weight of the whole world on your shoulders, as if fighting something invisible. A dense energy that presses you, but at the same time, you can never knock you down for good. Because there is a force within you that is greater than any curse, greater than any envy, greater than any negative energy you try to cast against your life. The strength, you can be sure, she is real. And now, I need to ask you something very important. Keep your attention with me until the end of this video. Because in the end, besides revealing you who these 3 signs are, I will open a spiritual secret that connects them all, and that can make you find out that, even if your sign is not between the 3, you can carry this same energy of protection and transmutation. I know now you should be wondering, is my sign on this list? And I tell you, stay with me, because every second of this video is a piece of a puzzle that will start to fit your mind, and especially, in your heart. As long as I tell you all this, maybe you are remembering specific moments of your life, times when you felt you were on the brink of collapse, But something suddenly changed the course of things. An unexpected phone call, a person who appeared out of nowhere, a feeling of calm in the middle of chaos, or even that strange dream that looked more like a warning, a direct sign of the universe. If any of these situations have happened to you, pay even more attention now, because these are the evidence, the clues, that you are part of this group of souls chosen to break curses. And do you know what is most interesting? Many of these people have a habit of shivering at times of intuition, to look at the clock always at the same repetitive times, of having spells that are confirmed, to have a greater sensitivity to the environments and the emotions of other people. It is those people who, even unintentionally, end up carrying the pains of others, who listen to everyone's problems, who try to help, who live with the feeling that they need to save the world, but deep down, many times, they feel alone, endless, even invisible. But let me tell you something, the universe doesn't forget your warriors. If you have gotten here, it's because your mission is just beginning to be revealed. So, take a deep breath, because soon, I'll tell you what these 3 signs were born with this spiritual brand. But before continuing, I want to ask you a favor that will help not only the channel, but it will create a positive power stream here in the comments. If at some point in this conversation you felt a shiver, a desire to cry, or simply a deep identification, comment here now, "This message is for me," or "I feel that I have this spiritual mission." And now that you are already emotionally connected with me, and with everything that has been said here, the time has come to begin to reveal the great guardians of this spiritual energy that breaks curses, that cuts karmic cycles, and that carries an almost impossible force to explain with words. And the first of them could not be another, we are talking about Scorpio. Yes, Scorpio. A sign that is often misunderstood, labeled, seen as too mysterious, too intense, even dangerous by some. But what few people understand is that behind all this intensity, there is a deep spiritual mission, a transformation mission. Scorpio is the one who carries within himself the energy of death and the Renaissance. But we are not just talking about physical death. We are talking about emotional death, of the end of cycles, of letting go what no longer serves, of cutting energy ties that were imprisoning you. Scorpio feels in the skin the pain of loss, of betrayal, of loneliness, of the falls. But it is precisely through these experiences that it rebuilds. Like a phoenix, Scorpio is reborn. 1, 2, 10 times if necessary. Nothing holds a Scorpio for a long time. As much as life drops it, as much as they put it on the floor, as much as the circums try to turn off your light, it always comes back. Stronger, more conscious, more prepared. And do you know that kind of person who seems to have a natural radar to detect negative energies? That person who enters an environment and feels when the air is heavy, when there is something wrong, when are there people fake around. This is the Scorpio. Sharp intuition, perception beyond normal, a spiritual connection that often he cannot explain himself. But what a lot of people don't see, it's how much Scorpion carries a deep emotional burden. Many times, behind the firm look of silence, that appearance of self-sufficiency, there is a tired soul that has fought invisible wars that no one imagines. Internal wars, spiritual wars. Edgar Cayce said that Scorpio is one of the signs with the greatest ability to transmute karma. This means that throughout life, the Scorpion will face challenges that are actually evidence of spiritual resistance. Situations that will test your faith, your ability to forgive, your ability to leave the past behind. So, if you are Scorpion, you may have already felt that the cycles in your life are much more intense. May the people who arrive often come to teach you something, but also to challenge you. That the losses you suffered, they were too painful, but at the same time, they serve to strengthen you in a way that today, you are almost unattainable emotionally. And do you know that power to intuit people's intentions? To know who is real and who is just a mask. This is not paranoia. This is your spiritual energy protecting you. The universe gave you this sensitivity so that you could identify the dangers before they hit you. And if there's one thing that Scorpio needs to understand, is that this emotional intensity, this heart that feels everything so deep, it's not a curse. On the contrary, it is your greatest gift. It is your spiritual weapon. This is what makes you a true breaker of karmic cycles. And I know that while I speak, many of you there on the other side are recognizing each other in every word. Maybe it's coming in your mind now, that toxic relationship you needed to cut, that job that sucked on your soul, that friendship that seemed true but it just pulled you down, and how hard it was to break all this. But today, looking back, you know you needed to have done it. Because that's what Scorpio does. It closes doors, even with pain. He ends cycles, even with tears. It burns the bridges, but only when you know that the path that is left behind no longer serves for your new version. And before revealing the next sign on this list, I want to open a space here for you, Scorpio, or you who know a Scorpion. Leave in the comments what comes from the bottom of your soul now. If you have identified yourself with all this, if you've been through emotional rebirths, if you're the one who always comes back stronger, comments down here, I always be reborn. And of course, if what I'm saying makes sense to you, if somehow has touched your heart, leave your like now, because this is not just about numbers. It's about spreading this message to others who need to understand that the pain they live is also a preparation. And now that we are deeply plunged into Scorpio's energy, the time has come to talk about the second sign that carries such a powerful force within it. So bright, that even in the most difficult situations, it is able to ward off any negative energy, any envy, any look of judgment, any curse that try to throw upon your life. Yes, I'm talking about Leo. The sign of light, of courage, of spiritual leadership. Lion is much more than a symbol of pride or vanity, as many often label superficially. Leo carries a rare blessing, a divine spark that vibrates in the bottom of his soul. Who is Leo? He feels this since I was a child. It is those people who, even without understanding very well, always knew that there was something different inside them. An invisible force, a kind of its own brightness, that bothers some, but inspires many others. The Leonino was not born to live in the shadow. It was not born to accept emotional crumbs. It was not born to hide. Even when life tries to shut up. Even when circumstances seem to want to turn off their light. Even when they face rejections, falls, and betrayals. The Leonino finds a reserve of strength that surprises to himself. You know that feeling of looking back, after a difficult phase, and realize that you won, that you rose, that you got around, even when no one believed. This is the essence of Lion in action. There is a very strong spiritual protection around these people. As if the universe said, you may even fall, but your light will never turn off. And don't think that this protection means a life without challenges. Quite the contrary. The Leonino usually attracts intense spiritual evidence. Situations that require positioning, that require courage, that require self-affirmation power that goes beyond the ego. Because Leo's spiritual mission is to be a lighthouse. It is being the one who illuminates others, even when broken inside. How many times did you, Leonino, have you had to smile on the outside, while inside your world was collapsing? How many times have you held tears, just not to worry others? How many times have you been the strength of everyone, while no one noticed the weight you were carrying on your back? Just because you were made to be a reference, to be inspiration, to be the one who, even in the darkness, carries a lit torch. And there is one thing that the universe does to who is Lion. He tests his ability to believe in himself. Because only when the Leonino recognizes his own light, can he activate the maximum power of his spiritual protection. That protection that blocks envy, that cuts bad energies, that pushes people who don't vibrate at their frequency. Edgar Cayce said that Leo is one of the signs most linked to the solar energy center, to the plexus chakra, which is the chakra of personal strength, of courage, of trust, and the power of manifestation. So, Leonites have a natural ease to open paths, to win what they want, but especially, to positively influence who is around. And do you know that thing to attract looks, to be noticed, of having a presence that doesn't go unnoticed? This is also part of Leo's spiritual energy. Even when they don't want to, Leonites draw attention. And many times, it arouses envy, judgment looks, invisible energy attacks. But do you know what happens to them? Nothing, absolutely nothing is able to turn off the light of those born to shine. But for this protection to be active, there is one thing that the Leonino always has to remember. Its light is not only yours. She was given to illuminate other people's path as well. So, every time you try to hide, every time you decrease, every time you stop positioning yourself for fear of displeasing, you lose strength. Your mission is to be big, it's an example, it's being a voice, it's being a guide, even when the world tries to convince you otherwise. And if you're a Lion, maybe you're remembering now every time you were called arrogant, exaggerated, queen drama, of wanting to be the center of attention, when in fact, all you wanted, it was to live your truth, follow your heart, and continue to be light for those who surround you. So, if I spoke, you felt that I was describing exactly what you live, exactly what you feel, exactly what you've been to, I want you to do something now. Leave here in the comments the following sentence: My light never goes out. I want to see the strength of all the Leonids who are watching this video here with me. And of course, if this content has already touched you in any way, if you feel that this message was for you, leave your like, because it helps this message to more people who are also in need of this spiritual confirmation. And now that you have plunged into the deep energies of Scorpio and the brave light of Leo, the time has come to reveal the third sign of this spiritual triad. The one who carries such a subtle, so silent and so powerful protection that often the surrounding people don't even realize, but the results are always visible. This sign is Fish. Yes, the Pisces, those who seem to live between two worlds, between the material and the spiritual, between the visible and the invisible, between the here and the beyond. Fish is undoubtedly one of the most connected signs to the divine. From an early age, Pisceans have often had sensations that they can't explain. Brands, dreams that come true. The feeling of being guided by something, by someone, for a force they can't see but they feel with a frightening clarity. Many Pisces report that they have already escaped dangerous situations for a trees, as if something had pushed them to the right side, as if an invisible hand had taken them from a place at the exact time, as if an inner voice had shouted loudly, asking not to follow that path. This connection to the invisible makes Fish seen by many as distracted, a voodoo, or even turned off from reality. But what most do not understand is that this apparent distraction is, in fact, such a strong spiritual connection, so intense, that the Piscean is often in another plan, capturing signs, receiving messages, feeling energies that no one else can perceive. Edgar Cayce said Fish is like a walking spiritual antenna. They absorb, they feel, and often even get sick emotionally because of that. Who is Fish know how difficult it is to explain to others the reason for certain sudden feelings. A cry that comes out of nowhere. A no anguish without explanation. A sense of loss even when nothing concrete has happened. All of this are clear signs of your spiritual sensitivity. But the most beautiful of all is that, along with this sensitivity, comes a natural protection. As if angels, spiritual guides, or even larger forces were constantly beside them. And it is no exaggeration to say that those who try to hurt a Piscean end sooner or later facing the universe's own response. Because Fish is one who often unknowingly walks with an invisible army around him. And what few realize is that Pisces has a natural gift of transforming environments. You know that person who arrives in a place, and suddenly the mood seems to be lighter, calmer, more harmonious? This is the energy of Fish in action. On the other hand, when a Piscean is sad, anxious, or afraid, the whole environment can get heavy, dense, confused, because their energy is so strong that it contains everything around. Another very striking thing in Fish, it's the ability to feel the pain of others as if it were yours. Pisces are true emotional sponges. They absorb sadness, joy, fear, even the energy diseases of those around. That's why, so many times, they end up getting sick emotionally, summing pain that it's not their own. And if you are Fish, you have probably felt that uncontrollable will to help someone, even when you were destroyed yourself. But that is precisely why Fish is part of this list of signs that break curses. Because they have the ability to clean the environment, to heal the other with a simple presence, with a look, with a word said at the right time. And even when they themselves are in crisis, they are still a source of comfort to others. And there are more. Fish is also known as the sign of signs, the famous signs of the universe. If you are Fish, you have probably experienced experiments where repetitive numbers have often appeared, or then that song that plays right when you needed an answer, or even such real dreams, that when you woke up, I felt as if you were still inside them. And if you're listening to me now, and you're Pisces, or know someone in Fish, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You have already felt this invisible shield protecting you. There was that feeling that something much bigger takes care of you. And even in the phases where everything seems to be going wrong, somehow, an unexpected exit always appears. A solution that comes out of nowhere. A help that arises when you had already lost hope. And that's why Pisces is the last on this list. But it's far from being less important. On the contrary, Pisces is the one who carries on his back, in silence, many energies that are not yours, but for some divine reason, the universe has chosen you to transform. Now, if I spoke, any strong memory came to your mind, if you identified with these sensations, if you have lived these signs, or know someone who lives just that, I want you to comment here now. My angel always guides me. I really want to see how much this Fish energy is present here in the comments, and how much this message resonated with your soul. Now that you have deeply known the Scorpion's force, lion light, and the invisible protection of Fish, The time has come to reveal you the great spiritual secret that connects these three signs in a way that goes far beyond conventional astrology. What I'm going to tell you now may make many pieces fit in inside your mind, and especially inside your heart. Edgar Cayce, known as the Sleeping Prophet, who left a legacy of thousands of spiritual revelations, described these three signs as pillars of a spiritual mission that goes far beyond common human understanding. Scorpion, Leo, and Pisces. These three signs are not in the same category just by chance. There is an energetic, karmic, and spiritual reason behind this connection. They were chosen to be transformation tools. They are literally living instruments of collective healing. People who carry a vibrational field so powerful, who are able to break curses that drag themselves for whole generations. Do you know that cycle of suffering that seems to have no end in your family? That repetitive pattern of loss, scarcity, emotional illness, betrayal, abandonment. All of this is often an echo of an energy that has accumulated over years, decades, centuries. And those born under these signs came exactly for that, to cut this invisible wire that holds generations to suffering. But the most impressive of all this is that these people do not do it just for themselves. They face internal and external battles, often without even knowing orc. But what is happening in fact is that they are energetically cleaning a much larger field than theirs. They are cleaning the pain of the grandparents, of the great-grandparents, and even people they didn't even know, but whose energies still vibrate in their spiritual lineage. And do you know what makes it even deeper? It's just that these people are not aware that they are living exactly this process. They think they are just having a difficult life, full of challenges, full of losses, full of emotional tests, when in fact, they are being shaped to the great mission of their soul, breaking the cycle and the standard. Rewrite the destination of the lineage itself. And maybe now you understand why so many things you lived here, they seemed meaningless, they looked punished, it seemed unfair. But in fact, they were the necessary steps to strengthen you, to prepare you, to turn you into what the universe needed you to go. Scorpio does this through emotional transmutation. Leo does this with his light, his courage to position himself, lead and inspire others. And Fish makes with your spiritual connection, with your ability to feel, to intuit, to welcome, to transform the invisible into healing. And of course, now, maybe you're thinking, but what if I'm not any of these three signs? Do I also carry this mission? And the answer is that the universe is much wiser and more complex than just its solar sign. There are people who, even though they are of other signs, carry these same energies in their astral maps, in important positions like the moon, the aspect, or even in aspects of spiritual houses on your map. So, what really matters now? It's not just the sign you carry, but the identification you felt with everything I said so far. If while I spoke of scorpion, of lion, of fish, something inside you vibrated, if you felt a shiver, a desire to cry, or even that feeling of, wow, it looks like he's talking exactly about me, so believe me, you are also part of this spiritual chain. Because the universe does not make mistakes. If this message came to you, it's because you needed to hear exactly that. Perhaps to better understand your story, maybe to forgive your past, maybe to assume once and for all your spiritual mission. And before I tell you what this means even deeper, I want to open this space here in the comments for you to express yourself. If during this video, you have identified yourself with some part of this message, if you feel that you carry this emotional weight of generations, if you have had that feeling that you are fighting something invisible that does not belong to you, I want you to comment here now, I accept my spiritual mission, or I am the endpoint of pain cycles in my family. And now that you have come here with me, and heard every word of this video, maybe you're feeling something hard to explain. Maybe a tightness in your chest. Maybe a relief, or even that desire to cry that comes out of nowhere, but it brings a sense of truth, revelation that finally, you understood why so much that happened in your life. Because the truth is that, when we hear words that move directly with our soul, the whole body reacts. It is as if all your cells recognize that after so long, you are receiving an answer you have always sought. If at some point as I spoke of scorpion, lion and fish, you saw yourself in the stories, in the pain, in overcoming, if you were at some point that I was describing exactly what you have gone, what you feel, what you face every day. So now it's your time to position yourself spiritually, because when we write, we manifest. When you comment, you activate a liberation energy, as if saying to the universe, I understand. I'm ready. I'm ready. My spiritual mission begins now. And so, I want you to stop a minute, take a deep breath. And if you recognized everything I said here, if any tears fell, If any chills traveled your body, if any strong memory came to your mind, leave here in the comments. I break pain cycles. Write with faith, write with feeling, write as a ritual of liberation. Because the simple act of putting these words, it is already a way of declaring to the universe that you are assuming your true spiritual strength. And do you know what is most beautiful in all this? It's just that you are not alone. Look at the comments below. Look how many other people are living this same process, this same energy transition, this same spiritual awakening. Each person who comment will be part of a healing chain, an egregore of transformation, where together, let's dissolve negative energies, break with standards that no longer serve, and open way to a lighter life, more aligned, more protected. And if you are thinking that was the last revelation, I need to tell you that what comes ahead, it's even deeper. In the next video, I will reveal what are the 3 signs that most attract angelic protection, those who, regardless of what they do, always seem to have an invisible force taking care of them, diverting dangers, opening doors, bringing deliverances that many call luck, but deep down is high-level spiritual protection. So, already subscribe now on the channel, activates the bell, because when this video comes out, you will be one of the first to receive. And believe me, if you have already felt that bigger forces protect you, that danger always passes scraping but does not reach you, if you have already escaped situations where the outcome could have been much worse, you cannot lose the next content. And before you end, one more thing. If you got here, if you heard each word to the end, it's because your soul was really ready for this message. This is not by chance. This is destination. This is part of your spiritual call. So, besides commenting, I break pain cycles, also leave your like, because with that, you help me make this message reach those who really need, to other people who are also waging their own invisible battles, and that, like you, deserve this awakening. If you stayed with me until the end of this video, it's because this message really was for you. This already shows that your soul is ready to take the next step on this spiritual journey. So do the following, subscribe now to the channel, because here each video is a call, a new revelation, a new stage of this awakening you are living. If you have gotten here, I want you to comment below the following sentence: I accept my spiritual mission. This will show me that you are one of those you feel, that listens to the call, and that you are ready to assume your strength. And of course, if this video has touched your heart in any way, leave your like now, because it helps YouTube to deliver this message to more people who are also in need of this sign. And before you leave, don't forget, click on the next video that is appearing on the left side of your screen, because in it I will reveal you the 3 signs that most attract angelic protection, those who have such a strong spiritual shield, that even the impossible bends before them. So, I hope you there.